Microsoft's sophomore effort is no slump. After a mixed first outing, the company returns with the Surface Go 2, a sleeker, faster, and longer-lasting hybrid tablet. Microsoft found a way to deliver a larger display, slimmer bezels, and better performance without hiking up the Surface Go 2's $399 starting price. Before we start, go ahead and subscribe. Also press the bell button to get the latest updates. Without any further delay, let us start. The Surface Go 2 looks practically identical to the original Surface Go aside from a few subtle but noteworthy updates made to the design. Microsoft kept the same physical dimensions but expanded the Surface Go 2's display from 10 inches to 10.5 inches. This was achieved by trimming down the display bezels, although the narrower frames around the screen are still chunky by today's standards. Ignore the larger display and trimmed down bezels. The Surface Go 2 is a spitting image of the previous model. It has a silver magnesium chassis with a kickstand on the rear, which flaunts an attractive mirrored Microsoft logo. Physical buttons include a volume rocker and a power button on the top edge. The Surface Go 2's unassuming design will not turn any heads, but it has a more premium look and feel than similarly priced tablets or laptops. The built-in kickstand, which rotates 165 degrees, also makes the Go 2 more functional than its rivals. With the kickstand extended, the tablet can be propped up or converted into a laptop via the optional Type Cover keyboard. By integrating a kickstand, Microsoft gave the Go 2 the flexibility other tablets only have when attached to a folio cover or keyboard attachment. It works great on a desk, but the Go 2 is not particularly comfortable to use on your lap because only the bottom edge of the kickstand makes contact with your thighs. As a result, the tablet flexes and bobs as you type on the keyboard or tap the screen. In comparison, the iPad Pro feels more stable for lap use because its optional Magic Keyboard has a flat, rigid bottom. The Surface Go 2 has the same selection of ports as the previous model. On the right side, there is a USB-C input, a Surface Connect port, and a headphone jack. Microsoft also hid a micro SD card slot under the kickstand, and our LTE version has a nano SIM tray on the left side. Here is where things get interesting. Microsoft expanded the Surface Go 2's display to 10.5 inches, up from 10 inches. This is not a major upgrade, but extra screen real estate is always welcome if there is no impact to portability or price. The Surface Go 2's 10.5 inches 1920 by 2080 touchscreen display has an aspect ratio of 3:2. Which makes it great for viewing documents or scrolling through web pages. However, do not stop there. Vivid colors and crisp details means you'll enjoy binging your favorite TV shows or even editing photos on this budget tablet. According to our colorimeter, the Surface Go 2's display covers 170% of the sRGB color gamut, making it less colorful than the screens on the iPad Air, which is 132%, and Surface Go, which is 129%. But more vivid than the category average, which stands at a 92%. The Go 2 screen gets exceptionally bright, reaching an average luminance of 408 nits. It is considerably brighter than the average display, which is 293 nits. But again, the iPad Air wins this round, hitting 425 nits. Microsoft makes some of the best detachable keyboards, but the type cover for the Surface Go 2 feels cramped. The keyboard is 9.4 inches across from key to key compared with 10.8 inches on the Surface Pro 7's keyboard. As such, the keys are jammed together, making them more difficult to type on. If you have large hands, the Go 2's narrow keys could be a deal breaker. You have to be extra careful to avoid typos, and even then, my pudgy fingers occasionally tap two keys at the same time. If you're an artist buying a tablet to create digital drawings or are a student who prefers to take notes by hand, then considering spending another $99 on the Surface Pen. You can use the pen to annotate or sign documents, sketch drawings in Paint 3D, or jot down a few notes in class or during a meeting. The pen has 4,096 pressure points, making it one of the most sensitive pens. It also supports tilt for shading and has a customizable button and tail eraser. Microsoft did not ship a Surface Pen with our Surface Go 2, but we have used the stylus in the past and found it to be responsive and sensitive to our movements. The Surface Go 2's performance is a mixed bag. Equipped with an outdated Intel Core M3 8100Y CPU and 8GB of RAM, the Surface Go 2 is fine for everyday tasks, but it will buckle under the weight of a heavy workload. When we benchmarked the Surface Go 2, the results were all over the place. The tablet did great on the Geekbench 4.1 overall performance test, landing a 6,815 compared with the base Surface Go's 3,735, which has an Intel Pentium Gold 4415Y. The iPad Air 11,471 A12 Bionic and the category average 12,882 scored much higher on this test. Storage speeds are a problem. The 128GB PCIe SSD inside the Surface Go 2 needed 28 seconds to duplicate 5GB of multimedia files, which equates to a sluggish transfer rate of 180.5 megabytes per second. The category average crushes that mark at 293.2 megabits per second, as does the budget Acer Aspire 5, which is at a 248 megabits per second laptop. Our video transcoding test proved difficult for the Go 2, which needed 48 minutes and 14 seconds to convert a 4K video to 1080p resolution using the Handbrake app. For comparison, the Aspire 5 took 32 minutes and 53 seconds, and even it didn't beat the mainstream average, which was at a 22 minute and 54 seconds. You should not try to play AAA games on the Surface Go 2 because it relies on a weak Intel UHD 615 graphics. Dirt 3 stalled at a measly 16 frames per second, while Sid Meier's Civilization 6 Gathering Storm lagged at an unplayable 5 frames per second. The Surface Go 2 succeeds in an area where its predecessor failed most by delivering 11 hours and 39 minutes of battery life in our test, continuous web surfing over Wi-Fi at 150 nits. That fantastic result demolishes the original Surface Go at 6 hours and 6 seconds and the category average at 8 hours and 10 minutes, but falls just a few minutes short of what the iPad Air 11 hours and 54 minutes achieved. The Surface Go 2 isn't fundamentally different from the Surface Go, but it fixed the major problems we had with the original tablet. The biggest area of improvement is battery life, which nearly doubled to 11 plus hours. Additionally, the Surface Go 2 delivers a larger display, smaller bezels, and faster performance than the previous model, all at the same $399 starting price. It's a great option if you want a Windows 10 tablet for basic tasks and consuming content, but you wouldn't use the Surface Go 2 for work due to its middling performance and cramped keyboard. If you can stretch the budget, the Surface Pro 7 gets you 10th gen Intel CPUs, a larger display, and a more comfortable keyboard. Compared with the iPad Air, the Surface Go 2 is not as sleek or as fast, but it costs less and has a more functional keyboard with a touchpad. It's a shame that the keyboard costs an extra $129 because our top-of-the-line model with LTE and a type cover costs a not-so-budget-friendly $860. Windows 10 is a more powerful operating system than iPad OS if productivity is your main concern. That is all for today, folks. Tell us in the comment section about your point of view. See you soon with another amazing video.